In a series of videos, I'm going to introduce lawyers to the existence of ISO 17025 and its importance. I'm going to introduce it in bite-sized bits for easy digestion. Just like all matters of learning, knowledge is incremental over time and builds upon previous exposure. In our last video, we answered the question, what is ISO 17025? Today we answer a different question. Why is ISO 17025 needed, and how is it implemented and integrated into the forensic science area? The basic schema that has developed is that ISO sets the international standard, or IS, with other subsidiary units such as ILAC, ASTM, and ASCII Lab issuing supplemental guide documents interpreting or enhancing the minimum international standards issued by ISO. As this is the developed schema and hierarchy of standards, the lack of an across-the-board cross-reference from standard to standard does not mean that the supplementing organization does not find the matter to be unimportant and not required, but rather is an indication that the ISO 17025 standard is sufficiently stated without a need for further explanation and interpretation. In fact, it says as much in the preamble of ILAC G19-2002, where it clearly states as follows. This document does not restate all of the provisions of ISO IEC 17025, and laboratories are reminded of the need to comply with all of the relevant criteria detailed in ISO IEC 17025. The clause numbers in the document follow those of ISO IEC 17025, but since not all the clauses require interpretation, the numbering may not be continuous. ASCII Lab International Supplement Requirements for Testing 2006 read similarly when they write, general requirements for the accreditation of testing laboratories are found in ISO IEC 17025-2005, general requirements for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. This document, referring to ASCII Lab International Supplement Requirements Testing 2006, supplements ISO IEC 17025 and contains supplemental accreditation requirements for forensic science testing laboratories for the examination or analysis of evidence as it relates to legal proceedings. Within those sections, primarily sections 4 and 5, the phrase, no supplemental requirement, means that the American Society of Crime Lab Detectors and Laboratory Accreditation Board International Program of Accreditation, or ASCII Lab International, has no additional requirement for accreditation in addition to the original requirements specified in ISO IEC 17025. In fact, ASCII Lab International Supplement Requirements for Testing 2006, Section 2 specifically references many of the guidelines referenced above that we just discussed. This is evidenced by the provenance of ASCII Lab's ability to grant its form of ISO 17025 accreditation per their international program. The ability to grant ISO accreditation originates from the following relationships. ASCII Lab is a, quote, full member of the Inter-American Accreditation Cooperation, or IAAC. ASCII Lab is a signatory to both the IAAC Multilateral Recognition Arrangement and the ILAC Mutual Recognition Arrangement. ASCII Lab is an active member of the National Cooperation for Laboratory Accreditation, or NACLA, and is accrediting bodies which operate in accordance with ISO 17011.